All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another live stream. Maybe, could be, possibly. Let's see. Let's see how it goes this week, guys. Last week, my internet connection was not that good. I think they're working on the lines or something. A lot of trees growing into the older lines and stuff. Hey, we got a few people here. We got Waffles the cat. We got Censorship, we got Josh. How you doing, Josh? We got Camilla Rees. We got Marcus T, and we got Park Productions. Awesome. And we got C. Benny. How you doing, C. Benny? Good stuff, guys. So, yeah, we got a few things to go over in this stream. A couple new things for Walking Dead, but there is... yeah, thanks, Eric, for the confirmation. Hey, Marilyn, how you doing? Marilyn, did you say, I was trying to remember from before, did you get banned from Facebook? And if so, what did you do? What did you say? what they get you for? Legit Whitford, how you doing? So I don't think there's any new Fear the Walking Dead on tonight. In fact, I'm pretty sure there isn't. So it's going to be next weekend. So there's still 2 episodes left for Fear the Walking Dead season 6, and we're going to see them in the next 2 weeks. But it's not going to be tonight. It's going to be the next 2 weeks coming up. So, yeah, so this should be good. I'm pretty excited for the episodes. They do look really good. And, you know, definitely excited for August because we're almost into June now. So that leaves us just a couple months, guys, until we get to see the new season for The Walking Dead. The final season, guys, the final straw, the last season for Walking Dead. And we did get a picture this week of Mercer. Hey, Madeline, how you doing? We got Godsmacky Sack. I like, or Godshacky Sack. I like Godsmack. That's a good fan. And Dory, how's it going? So Marilyn's going to tell us what she got banned from Facebook for. I'm interested to hear because I just like to keep up with the whole censorship and stuff now. Apparently, there's been some insider information that Facebook is now allowing people to discuss the lab leak idea. So the lab leak theory, which is kind of, it's not like they've confirmed it, but they've brought it into the news now, and it's becoming more prevalent. And you even have people in Congress and whatnot talking about it. You have like, you know, Rand Paul was pressing Fauci, and so a lot of the different news sites and a lot of different news things are starting to kind of go into that. So we'll give our thoughts on that after on why I think they're doing that. I'm sure that it serves the agenda too. I don't think they're doing that because it's, you know, because like anything to do with what's actually transpired or what's actually correct or true or false. I'm certain it's just, well, we'll get into it after, but I'm pretty sure that it's pretty obvious why they're doing it. I think they're trying to scare the rest of the people into doing the VAXX that haven't done it yet. So anybody who's like in the hesitancy deal, they're just using that to try to, like, you know, be like, oh, it did come from a lab, so you better go get your, you know, like convince more people to go get it. So it's like perfect time to roll it out. Because I forget what the percentage is at right now, but it's for you guys in the U.S., but I'm pretty sure it's pretty high. I think 70% is the amount that they're kind of targeted for. So we'll see if they get it or not. And if they don't, expect to see some crazy stuff go down if they don't get it. I would expect. But let's do Walking Dead first, and we'll let Marilyn respond back after, tell us what she got banned for. So we got our first look for The Walking Dead Season 11 at Mercer. Mercer in his orange-ish Commonwealth gear this week. So I wasn't going to do a whole video just on this. I thought, let's throw it in the live stream. We'll do it in live stream with you guys. So he does look a lot like the comic book version. I'm sure that when we see him in the episodes, it's going to look a lot better than it does here. Because to be honest... to be honest with you, he looks completely effing ridiculous. Now, you know, it's like, it's comic booky, so it's cool, but he kind of looks like an orange Dark Knight Batman, especially with the gauntlets. Like, he's got the gauntlets here. So, like, whatever those are called, where they've got the jagged part, like the gauntlet part, like the Dark Knight Batman part. But without the cape and the color, it just looks completely silly, I think, off screen. So this is just like a picture I think that either a fan took or somebody took either on set or in and around set of Mercer in his season 11 gear. Yeah, he looks completely effing ridiculous. I mean, it's like, I just, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. It's like, well, I think that when we see it in the episodes, it'll look a lot better when we see it actually in the episodes. But for some reason, the white costumes for the Commonwealth as well, they look okay, but as far as this orange one, it's okay. It looks a little silly, but I'm sure when we actually get to see it in the episodes, where you have the filters and you have all the stuff to make it look really nice, it'll be good. But right now, I just I just think it looks really silly. But it'll look better. It'll look better in the episodes, I'm sure. And we don't get to see him with his throwing axes in this picture here. I'm looking to see if I got the comic handy. So we don't get to see him with his throwing axes and whatnot in this picture yet. So I'm sure it'll be cool when we actually get to see it. It's kind of like maybe a combination between like a Star Wars stormtrooper for Walking Dead. Something like this. Yeah, HFG said it. He said that suit looks ridiculous. Retro Driver said, looks like a damn Power Ranger. He does look a bit like a Power Ranger. I have to admit, he does. Yeah. He does look like an action figure action character. But again, like we said, it'll probably look better in the actual episode. But I am kind of surprised that they used pretty much the costumes basically the same as the comic, because I got a bug in here from the window being open. Okay, I got it. Gross. So I am kind of surprised that they used pretty much the same verbatim look that he had in the comics for the television series version. That's very, very kind of odd to me. So yeah, he's very cool in the comic book series. He's very cool. He's got throwing axes and stuff. And he is very cool. Nice, that ghost. Yeah, I know. You could pass for it. Chris, I'm not kidding. This is a set picture. It's not a Photoshop or something. This is a set picture. Happy Memorial Day, Guts. How you doing? And hope you're doing okay with the passing of Kentaro Miura, the author for Berserk. It's quite sad that he passed away recently. I just wonder if he got the jab before, because I read online that he had something to do with his heart or something like that. So I'm just wondering if he got the deal and then had a bad reaction to it, because that's pretty common right now from what we're hearing in terms of reports. But yeah, Spitfire, I agree. Like we said, it's going to look better. I think it'll look better in the actual episode itself. But it's probably the most comic booky thing that we've seen for Walking Dead, like the most comic costume. That's the most comic booky, like the least realistic. I also find it interesting, like how would they build costumes like this in the zombie apocalypse? Like, do they have like a plastic shop or something where they're like casting plastic armor or something like this? I guess it's possible that you could get something like that going. But it just looks totally ridiculous. Typically, we order this kind of stuff from China, right, guys? China, they make this kind of stuff for us, right? So, yeah. Okay, what did we say here? So, we got Ernie Lord, who said, "I'm hoping to see Rick come back in the final season, even if it's at the end or something." Yeah, I hope so too, Ernie. I hope he comes back like in the last couple of episodes. I think that would be really great if they could have Andrew Lincoln come back, even just for a little bit. I think it'd be great. Hey, WebSoak, how you doing? And hey, Eve, how's it going? And we got Big Marcus here. Hey, Big Mark, how you doing? And that ghost. So yeah, Christian says it looks cheesy. Yeah, it does. It looks pretty ridiculous. So could zombies bite through that? Well, they wouldn't be able to bite through probably the orange parts. But I guess if they got you maybe on the other parts, maybe they could get through it a little bit. So I guess I guess it makes sense that they would wear armor or something like that, or a leather jacket or something. Also works because they wouldn't be able to bite through the leather so easily. So yeah, Spitfire. Um, I do think that the T-Man did some interviews recently. I think I saw an interview with him this week where he was going into it because he's going to try to make a run for it, come back in, I think it's 2024, right? Yeah, 2024. So we'll see if he's still going to want to do that. I don't even know if he's gonna want to or if he should. Yeah, so wherever they can get to is true. Yeah, yeah. If it wasn't so shiny, I'm surprised they didn't remix it and do something different with it. Like maybe make it, I don't know, parts on top of like a jacket or something, or just do something to make it look a little bit more realistic. But I guess they wanted to be faithful to the comics, so that's what they did, right? Well, thank you for saying that, Blue Sniper. God loves you too. So yeah, but aside from that, I don't think there's too much yet, Mark. There's no updates yet on Pamela or Sebastian. When we get some pictures of them, I'll definitely let you know when we get to see what they look like. So in the TV series version, but it will be cool to see them kind of enter in. It's just a shame that it's the last season, because I had always thought that when you would have the Commonwealth come in, that would be like a few season deal. Like you could at least get 2 or 3 years out of it, or 2 or 3 seasons. But they kind of put the pedal to the metal for a while, and they went through a good number of storylines pretty quickly. So I guess they decided now to finish it off in season 11. So that was what they chose to do. Now we'll see for the spin-off series after that, the Carol Darrow series, the anthology series, if they're any good. We'll just we'll have to see, man. So yeah, but aside from that, just the 2 episodes coming for Fear. There's some pretty good trailers for the final episodes of Fear. You can see like the submarine where Teddy's going to launch this whatever kind of deal he's got there, whatever kind of ammunitions are in the submarine, if it can still get power and everything. And Morgan and the others are going to try to stop it, while you have Alicia, who's trapped inside of this bunker thing that she's kind of been locked into. To kind of start over, do over, right? If it lands. But the thing that's odd about Teddy's plan is that it won't, no matter what kind of missile or whatever it is that's on the sub, it's not going to kill everybody everywhere. It would probably knock out maybe part of the U.S., but it's not going to really affect people in other places. We don't have. I know that I think there's a lot of propaganda involved with different types of, munitions that we do have, nuclear, this kind of stuff. But I think that a lot of that's propaganda. I think that most of the time, if you even look at when wars break out with respect to us, in real life, you're mostly, if you're going to bomb a whole place, you're going to carpet bomb it pretty much. Dropping a nuke, that whole thing is like, that really does. I think it's mostly propaganda, to be honest with you guys. Mostly misdirection. Because you also have a phobe and a mobe, where you have mother of all bombs and father of all bombs. Now, why do you have a mobe and a phobe if you've got hydrogen and other types of super bombs, right? Splitting an atom and these super. It's almost like it's just science fiction, and they've worked that into They've worked in that science fiction into our reality, so we accept, nuclear power. But maybe I shouldn't say power, but nuclear atom bombs, things like this. And it's like, I don't, I don't know. I'm not. Let's put it this way: I'm not entirely convinced that those actually exist. I would not be surprised if those were a psychological weapon, and Hiroshima and Nagasaki were actually basically carpet bombed, firebombed pretty much. And then they put it in, and they did the films, and they got Disney and the models and everything. Because if you watch the older nuke test footage and stuff, it's pretty ridiculous. You can find it online still, and it looks fake. It doesn't just look fake. It looks really fake. Like, it looks like it was a propaganda thing that they did. And that would also explain why no one ever uses them, because it's like, because they're And it's actually perfect if you think about it in terms of super bombs like nukes and things like this. It's perfect because if you can convince other people that you have this Omega weapon, right? And they try to build one themselves and they can't do it, it's actually better if it doesn't exist, because if they believe you, then they're going to try to produce this thing that isn't real, and they might spend, however much money they have to try to build one too, when it's not real in the first place. So if you trick them to make them think that you have this Omega weapon, they try to build the same thing, and they can work on it as long as they want to, because they're never gonna, because it's not a real thing, right? It's just propaganda. So they might spend an infinite amount of money trying to produce this thing that's not real, and then it's like, or then they're gonna say, oh, we can't develop it, we better surrender, right? So it's it's pretty brilliant. That's pretty good magicianship right there, right? If you can convince people that you have the Omega weapon that isn't even real, it's not even possible to produce, right? It's impossible to actually make one of those. Then your opposition, other countries, will try to produce one forever and will never be able to do it because it's not real anyway. The films from that you look at are basically like model zoom, stuff. It's pretty cool. But anyway, as far as what we're seeing in Fear and the Fear reality, okay, it will wipe out probably part of the U.S. if Teddy launches it off, and we'll see. There aren't Christian. There weren't hardly anybody who worked on the actual project. It was all compartmentalized, and it was all like if you talk like World War II and everything. I also think if they would have had it in time, they probably would have nuked Berlin, probably. So anyway, but as far as the production of it and everything, it was all compartmentalized off. No one really knew anything. So you can use that same logic with respect to the Apollo program, which a lot of people say. I think Neil deGrasse Tyson says it too. He says that, oh, do you know how many people would have to be in on it for the moon landings to have been a work? But the thing is about it is that he knows. See, this is the kicker. He actually knows. I'm sure he knows, because he's probably in the club too, how many people are actually in that club. And it's about 10 million. Is that enough people? Is 10 million people enough people? Plus U.S. military intelligence who do that as a career, so they have to sign off. So if you have 10 million people, I think that's enough to keep the secret. I think 10 million people in the club directly is about enough to keep the secret. That's a lot of people. So you can keep a secret with 10 million people, yeah. So Christian, like you said, too many people would be in on it. 10 million people is enough to make it happen. Yeah, that's enough, I think. So, because that's how many are out there, right? You know that, right? I've already mentioned that a few times. So, yeah, that goes said, thoughts on X Factor winner, guys, 5-hour Attilian. Yeah, video about the Freemasons. He's so detailed with pics and actual info on paper. Yeah, that ghost. He's telling you the truth. That's what he's doing. So if you guys want to see what we're talking about here, let me get the picture of him. Till Childs. So he was an X Factor winner from 2010, I think, or so. Yeah, and so he did a 5-hour tell-all. And yeah, this is him here. Let's switch here. So this is him here. And you can watch his 5-hour spiel on BitChute. They've got it there right now. Yeah, it's like 5 hours to almost 6 hours. I already kind of gave my thoughts on it, but basically, yeah, he's telling you the truth. That's basically what it is. He is telling you what they don't want. They don't want you to know that. So what Christian said before about, oh, too many people would have to be in. Obviously, Christian has not watched that video. Obviously, he doesn't know about that. And the Shriner, the leader of Attilian's lodge, he said, is the mayor of the city that he lives in. He says that in the video. But he goes into some good stuff. Yeah, so here's a thing here. Somebody on YouTube must have done it. I'm surprised this didn't get taken down. I would expect, oh, is it on YouTube? Okay, it's 5 hours and 17 minutes. Is it actually legit here? Let's see. Oh, wow, it is posted. This is his talk through where he explains the big club. So I won't we won't go into the whole thing, but yeah, he explains basically pretty much all of it. Yeah. So you can watch that if you want to see. But yeah, that Ghost. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate your support and everything. Yeah, if you study what he says, that Ghost, because what he's actually giving you is a lot of stuff that you as the public are not really supposed to know. You're not. I'm sure he'll get in big trouble for doing that, because that's the big club, right? He's explaining the big club because he knows, because he won the deal, so he became a big time musician, because he won the X Factor Australia 2010 or 11, whichever year it was. I don't care. I don't watch these X Factor shows and all this stuff. But the point is that once you become like a celebrity or a top person like that, top musician, whatever, that you have to join one of the clubs so that they can control what you say. Otherwise, you're just going to say whatever, and you could cause a lot of trouble. So, pretty much, Daryl. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, but watch him. Yeah, Spitfire. I know he was just on Joe Rogan. I noticed that, as a matter of fact. Damage Control. Damage Control. It's like Level had so many viewers. Damage Control. Get Neil on there, right? Don't have Eric on there. No. Or ODD. No. You got to put Neil on. Reinforce. Damage Control. That's what it is. Yeah, he is. He's absolutely part of the club, HFG. That's exactly right. He is totally, completely. If there's one person that would be like the face of the club, it'd be him. He is the face of the club. And I saw one clip from him where he was going into, what was he talking about? He was talking about some magpie that was filling up a cup with water. He's just doing the atheism thing. That's it. It's like, oh, he's doing I knew it. I was like, oh, here we go. He's doing the atheism thing. So yeah, I knew it right away. I was like, oh, I know where he's going with this. But I'm surprised he doesn't do the alien thing. It sounds like he's not down. He's not down with the alien thing, but he's down with the monkey men thing. So that's cool. It's all good. Attilian would explain to you. See, Attilian would know that they did that. They made that all up. They made up Darwin and everything. I have the book right here on it. Well, this book is okay. It's decent. It's not amazing. Ian Taylor, In the Minds of Men, Darwin and the New World Order. It's decent, but it's not fantastic or anything. So, and yeah, Darwin was in the club too. The big club, man. The big club, and you ain't in it, Christian. The big club, you ain't in it. That's my club, man. Have to be so many people. It's like, yeah, there are. That's right. There are a lot of people. That's exactly right. Yeah, there are. Yeah. Alex Big Blue, how you doing, man? How's it going? Red Lotus, we got all right. Not too much going on, Red Lotus. I'm doing good, man. How are you doing? Like that you're liking it, man. We went over how ridiculous. Where is it? We went over how ridiculous Mercer looks. So we already did that. So we were just laughing at how ridiculous his armor looks for season 11. But like I said, it'll probably look better. It'll probably look better in the season 11, actual episodes. Websoak says, it says on Google, George Washington was a master Freemason. So this is called, so I know what this is called, Websoak. This is called waking up, right? This is when you figure out that there's this giant club that everybody who's anybody is a part of, and you're not in it. That's that's what this is called, right? When you realize that the system you're in is actually completely controlled and completely infiltrated all the way through. Yeah, Red Stormtroopers, I agree. He is. He's an orange. It's more like orange. Maybe it looks a little red because there's no lights on him, but I feel like it's orange. And yeah, he does look like an orange Stormtrooper. Yeah, he looks ridiculous. That Ghost said, can you make video on your book collection? I'd like to buy a couple of them from stores. Yeah, I can do a video on different books that I have, like a Tamanuli books. I just got this one in. You might like this one. This is Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, and it's a history of the world in our time. Alan Watt recommended this all the time, and I think Jay Dyer makes a big fuss about this book. Although I'm not 100% sure that he's not the club. Sometimes I think I'm like, see a Mason. He kind of seems like it. Maybe CIA or something, controlled opposition, whatever. Tragedy and Hope, a history of the world in our time. So pretty cool, but it's big, man. This one is a big one. It's unabridged, so this is good. It's about basically like the First World War, Second World War, and it gets into, I mean, it's very highly detailed. This is going to take me a long time to go through. I've already gone through a couple chapters, but it's a very slow read and it's super detailed. But it goes into some of the top. I recognize a lot of the family names, and I recognize a lot of the top people as well in it. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, what else did we... oh, Josh said a girl went to school and wants to become an astronaut. It is really fascinating what will happen when she tries to be, when she has to sign up. Yes, Faustian bargain seller. So yeah, basically, yeah. Well, it's not to say that she can't become one. She can. It's just not what she thinks it is. That's all. It's just that she's something different from what she thinks she's going to be, right? If she succeeds, then that just means that she'll do what they all do, which is, well, we've already gone over that enough times. So why not Cigar Nixica? Why not the sickle and the hammer? Why not? Can you guess why? Why don't I put it back on you? Can you guess why? What do you think? Dan Smith, how you doing, man? We got Lulu. Oh, yeah, Trev did a badass review on the name online you're not allowed to say. He who shall not be named. It's David Icke. David Icke's book, The Answer, on a stream not too long ago. Yeah, I did. It's a really good book. The Answer is awesome. And I had a review of it posted, and I think I had to take it down because I was getting striked just for putting the dude's name in some videos, which is crazy that YouTube would strike the channel just because I used a guy's name, but that's what happened. So there you go. Censorship in this last year has been astronomical. It's been an outer space. There you go, to the moon, right? Those are not facts; those are theories, Nixon. Yeah, they're. Well, okay, it depends what you mean, Nixon. So you're right in this way. So what you would say is a fact. Okay, so when you say something is a fact, okay, it just means basically that it has legitimacy, and where that comes from is when the top people agree that the public should be told that as legitimate. So when you say what's a fact, what you're talking about is you're talking about something that the ruling power has said, tell them that. That's what you accept as a fact. It doesn't mean it's true. It just means it got a check mark. It got signed off. So when you say that, oh, this is a fact, what are the facts? Give me the facts, man. And then you turn on CNN and Anderson Pooper's there to tell you all the facts. What are the facts? We're going to stick to the facts. It just basically means that he's been given that to go through from his higher-ups to communicate that through as a fact. So when it was a year ago and it was a fact that this deal went from bats to people naturally, and that was a fact because Mr. 33, Master of the Hidden Veil, Freemason Fauci said so, then it was a fact. Now they're changing the fact, right? So now they're saying that, well, the most likely place actually is the Wuhan lab, right? So you have them changing a fact. So what you're looking for is you're looking for the matrix that's created for you by the ruling elite. You're asking for the matrix fact, which means what they want you to think. Not what's true or what's false, just what they want you to think currently. And that can change as well, as it has in the last year. So that's my response to you as far as how you want your facts, your ruling elite confirmed facts. That's how you get those. They get signed off on. That's where it comes from. Right, and then anything that goes against what the elites say is a fact is called a C theory, which was a term created by the CIA. So the CIA created the term conspiracy theory, right, to label people that we're not going along with their might is right defined facts, which they tell you is true right now, and then later they might change it, right? Whatever they want you to think. That's what it ends up being. Yeah, that's right, Spitfire. I agree with you. That's a Spitfire. You better be careful, man. That sounds like a. Oh wait, no, it's okay now because it's what? Pretty much June. It's May 2021. So now you're allowed to think that. So now that could be a fact, right? A year ago, that was misinformation, man. Spitfire, that's misinformation, dude. You need to get fact checked, man. You need a fact check. Dr. Frodsky didn't say it's okay yet for you to think like that, right? You got to wait till your overlord tells you it's okay for you to think like that. Yeah, so... Yeah, Zane, you think I'm related to him? No, I'm not. I'm not related to him. Okay, what do we get from Faraz? And he's in the club too, Zane, by the way, just so you know. Faraz, The Walking Dead will end on drug wars. Yeah, yeah. Well, the Commonwealth will dump opiates on Rick and the gang. Hey, word of the day. How you doing, man? And yeah, Josh, are they just trying to make China a scapegoat, or are they just playing around? Yeah, they totally are. I mean, who authorized them to make it? We did. So it's like, just like everything else. It'd be like this. It'd be like, what is this? This is a holster. Okay, what is my deal from? Let me see. I'm trying to find something that's made in China, which should not be that difficult to do. Where's that basketball? I had a little basketball that was made in China. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there we go. Made in China. Can you see it? Made in China. NBA Spalding miniature basketball. Made in China. There you go. So that'd be like as if we ordered, one of these be made, and then, it was released or something, and then people got mad at them because we ordered them to make it. It'd be like, it's just ridiculousness. It's totally ludicrous. It's like, dude, we're the ones who put the order in. They're just obediently doing whatever we tell them to do, and now you're mad at them because they did what they were told. Well, you know what? I'm sorry. Pretty much, Station down has a picture of T going like, what is he doing in the picture? He's going like this in the picture. That's wonderful, Station. I do appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, so, good stuff. Okay, yeah, that's right, Boogeyman. Well, so Rand was pressing him on the gain of function thing, right? But basically, as soon as he did that, it sounds like he's starting to get death threats now in the mail and stuff, white powder and different things like this. It's like, oh, couldn't see that coming, right? Once you question one of the overlords, next thing you know, the intelligence, you get some phone calls, right? That's just how it goes. So. Yeah, okay, so, hey, oh, that's great, Spitfire. Did they make it so that you can take the masks off? Oh, good for you, man. That's awesome, dude. Here where I live, we're closed until, what day is the 2nd of June? We're closed until Wednesday, and then on Wednesday, we're going to reopen. So we're closed till Wednesday, and then they're going to reopen the stores, and they've got a step-by-step plan back to reopening that we're doing here, so... It's, yeah, it's what it is. But I'm happy for you guys that you got to take the masks off. That's good, man. I think that's great. Here, where I live in Canada, that's not gonna happen. We're still on lockdown right now. Like, we're not even allowed to do anything. So, yeah. You like the white powder stuff there, Lou? I guess it depends what white powder, right? So, yeah, thankfully, that's good. Finally take them off. That's awesome. All right, Marilyn responded with what she did and what she got banned for. Did she? Let's see. Okay, I got to scroll up, Marilyn. Sorry. And let's see where we have. Yeah, I agree, Josh. Josh said he doubts that nukes exist. I actually feel the same way now. After I've studied and realized how much they lie about almost everything, I think, like, yeah, okay, they probably don't do that. Those are probably not real either. Okay, let's see. Where did she say? Oh, I didn't really get the message. The Walking Dead Universe 36 said, Trav, do you think Maggie will get Sherry, attack on Alexandria, and try to kill Negan as a remix of Sherry trying to kill Rick? So that'd be, do you think Maggie will get Sherry attacking it? Well, Sherry, you mean from Fear the Walking Dead? You mean like Dwight and Sherry? Or am I losing my mind here is what you're talking about? Well, I don't think they're going to do any kind of crossover thing before the series ends. I think Fear's got its own storyline. It's really good. And they're not going to cross them back into each other. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, let's see. Okay. I'm just going through your guys' comments to see what you said here. So, let's see. Earth 1000's got a copy of it on his channel too. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad that you have that there. That way people can see it. Let's see here. Trav, can you answer me this? So the Brits, UK, let us have a country known as the United States of America. Yeah, basically, it's a corporation. You have a president. You know, it's an extension of the empire, but it's a corporation in the United States. It has a president, just like any other, corporation, CEO, president, whatever you want to call it. You can use a different name, but that's pretty much it. Yeah. So, although you guys are a little bit more disagreeable, so they have to kind of handle you differently. They let you take the mask off, they let you do stuff, so it's actually pretty good. So, yeah, I like some of the places you guys got going on there are good. I like, what's happening in Florida, Texas as well. A lot of freedom there, so that's good for you guys who live over there. Or New Jersey, if you're losing the mask, that's good too. So awesome stuff. Hey, Talons, thanks for joining and thanks for your support for the channel. And let's see here. What did you guys say? America, nowhere is closed here. Yeah, that's good. So where you guys are at, do you guys have any lockdowns in the States at all in America, or there's zero? If there's zero, that's really good, man. Because we've been on lockdown since the start of this thing. We've been on lockdown more than we've been open now. Because now it's again another couple months we've been on lockdown here just recently. So it's, really crazy. I noticed there's so many houses for sale because after all these lockdowns and such, I think a lot of people are losing their houses. So they got to kind of sell them, maybe downgrade or something. So it doesn't surprise me that if you're out of work for 7 months or something like that, that at some point you just you can't keep going. Let's see, unless you get into debt big time. Like you could do that, I guess, and then pay it back later. Yeah, zero, huh? Oh, that's really good, man. Happy for you guys. Now, I wonder if in the fall, you'll have different places in the States go back into lockdown again. I'd say probably, but I guess we'll see. Oh, they're done with it, huh? See, Benny? Oh, that's great, man. Really, really good. So, yeah, let me see, Marilyn. Let me go back here. 9/11, 9/12. Darn. Okay, so you said that. Sorry, a lot of comments came through and it got pushed around, and I don't. Unless, you know what? It might have gotten blocked here, Marilyn. I think it did. Okay, let's see. I wonder if they removed it right away. I don't see it. Maybe you can see it. I don't see it. Unless it got pushed through. Yeah, let's see. No, I don't. I saw your message. They got me for the most ridiculous things. And then they blocked it. I didn't get your message. Well, that's okay. It's all good. I just wanted to read it for everybody. That's all, to see what you got banned for. That's it. But it sounds like we can't. Yeah, we can't read it. They blocked it too. Wow, that's crazy. Well, YouTube is still, pretty high on the censorship also. So it doesn't surprise me that, your message you posted, whatever you said on FBI book, Facebook, saying it on YouTube, same thing happened. They blocked it here too. So that doesn't surprise me. Okay, I guess we'll have to skip it because it's not there. So yeah, I thought so too, Josh. They're doing the alien thing more and more all the time. I think they were doing it recently with Obama, right? They were doing promoting up the alien thing more and more. Yeah, I really think that they're going to do that. Maybe in 10 or 20 years they'll do a Project Bluebeam alien invasion thing that's it'll be fake. Obviously, it'll be orchestrated. But in the Matrix, it'll be real. It'll be a fact, right? It'll be a fact that aliens invaded, right? Once they say it, people will go for it. It'll work. People will believe it for sure. Yeah, that ghost said, not in my state. There's nothing closed for a very long time. Awesome, man. Never heard of any nursing homes having a bad outbreak. It should have ripped through them because most are prone to get it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know David Icke is still on the whole. There isn't even a thing at all. Like he's still saying that, and I mean, it's a bit like looking for aliens sometimes, right? It's like, okay, where are the aliens at? Okay, this person's got that person's got that. It's like, that's not really good evidence, is it? No. Yeah, UFOs are really fun. They are fascinating. I don't think they're real. Yeah, Marilyn, so it shows for you, and it blocked it for me, it sounds like. If you want to copy-paste it again, you can send it through again. But, yeah, they're building up the alien thing. They're going to keep doing that until they eventually do a fake alien invasion. I think so. Absolutely. Hey, Carlos, how you doing, man? Mon Dragon said, sup, man? Huge Walking Dead fan. Also, I was a Shane fan from the get-go, but Season 4 Rick changed me. Now, I own a revolver, boots, and a murder coat. What is Carlos, what is a murder coat? What is that? I'm not familiar with such. Let's see. Yeah, Josh, you'd be surprised how many people will be quiet when their paycheck relies on it. You'd be surprised how many people don't say shit when it affects their wallet. It's kind of astounding, to be honest with you. So I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what to think. Yeah, Boogie, I actually agree with what you said. Boogie said, I'm guessing P2 is when the VAXX start, and then they won't tell the public it's only the vaccine. They'll probably say it's a variant, right? They'll say it's a variant or it's some other thing, and they'll blame it on that, even though they know that it's related to, the thing. But they'll say that it's a different, V, right? It's easy to see, because you just ask, like, what would you do? And that's pretty obvious. That's what you do, is you'd blame it on a variant or something else. So that's what I expect them to do going forward, and I expect it to happen. Because so somebody asked me why I used so the topic of this video. First, we'll take a look at Mercer. So we did that. Sprung a leak. We gave our thoughts on that. Mostly that, okay, maybe possible, maybe on purpose, whatever. Okay, fine. But whatever you want to think about, that's up to you. But they are definitely playing it up in the media more now, that they're more accepting now that, okay, yeah, that's probably. But the only reason why I think they're doing that is because of the hesitancy for the deal. That's the only reason why I think they're playing that up. I don't think they're doing that because it's fact. Again, people with their facts, right? Like as if that's a thing. Like as if that exists as a real thing. Like as if like the people who are in charge always tell the truth to the citizens all the time. Which, if you study history, that's clearly not true. And so, but they want their matrix nice and clean for them. They want it nice and easy, right? To where they're always told the truth about everything all the time, even though that is a very childish mindset to have, to think that people who are in charge have the ability even to tell their people the truth every time, all the time. It's very, very childish mindset to think like that. But anyway, so Sprung a leak through that. Again, like I said, I only think they're really using that. Even if it is true or it's not, whatever the case may be, I only think that they're allowing it out now because it is going to reduce the hesitancy. That's why I think they're using that now, and they're putting that out there. It's like anybody who didn't get it, now we're going to put this out there so that if you still haven't got it, now we're going to admit this, so now you'll really want to get it if you didn't, because now you're going to think, right? So it's all management of the mind. It's all, trying to get people to do what you want them to do with least amount of pushback, right? So, and then are we there yet? So the sickle and the hammer in the thumbnail is about, are we there yet? So it's about basically Klaus and the boys of the World Economic Forum, some of our oligarchs, and moving the world into atheistic communism, right? Moving the world into atheistic communism. So are we there yet? I think we're pretty much there, man, almost. I mean, we need a few more years, probably a couple more years of some lockdowns. if you guys in the States are open and everything, it feels like to me, if everything just goes back to normal, then I don't think you can go all the way to what was described in sustainability in the UN and in the Great Reset in Klaus Schwab's work. So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, there's got to be something else that's going to happen. We can't be finished yet if they really want to move the world there. Because as much as we've been locked down, especially here in Canada, still being locked down right now. In Canada, yes, but the States, like you guys said, you haven't been. So it feels like there's got to be something more happen in the next few years that pushes it more to that way. Unless it's just going to be the rest of it's like a slow growth to where, you know, machines are taking over more and more jobs. You get those self-driving cars done. You do all that stuff. And then you have the people, you know, go on to the UBI. And because you don't need them to really do much anymore. So it feels like we've been through a lot. But as far as are we there yet, it feels like there's got to be more things that are going to happen in the next few years to push us. I feel like we got to be pushed further towards the hammer and the sickle, because otherwise we're not going to go there enough based on what's happened yet. Like if they lock it down for another year or two, I feel like, okay, that would probably get you to where what he described feels more closer to where, you know, almost all small businesses are just evaporated. They're just wiped out. They, you know, because of years of shutdown or whatever, they're not going to come back, and that's pretty much all there is to it. Based on the lockdowns and stuff we've had so far, it doesn't feel like it's enough to move us into worldwide, that really long winter, if you want to think of it in terms of like the Soviet, a dark winter, like that really long. It feels like we haven't had enough yet to get us to that world, communism mode yet that is detailed by him, the United Nations, and the others, the Great Reset idea. So we'll see what happens. I feel like there's got to be more, and so I don't think we're there yet. I don't think we're done yet. Some people might be sitting here thinking, okay, we're out of the woods now because I got the deal. Everybody's got the deal, so we're done, and we can just go back to living life normal. The masks come off, and I think that's great. I'm saying, like, that's awesome, man. The masks come off, you go back to regular life. But it feels like, based on what was released by the UN, by World Economic Forum, by these people, it feels like we haven't had enough things happen yet to take us to the hammer and the sickle yet. We're still more capitalistic in terms of, more like a lot of the small businesses are going to recover, they're going to come back, they're going to be all right. But if you have another couple years of lockdowns, then that's basically it. The idea of the UBI and the buying out people's property to make up for their debt and whatnot, these concepts that have been proposed, if you wanted to do those, we haven't had enough happen yet to move the matrix to that spot to where you're going to be able to bring in the hammer and the sickle. So I feel like there's got to be something else that's going to happen. We'll see in the next few years what that is. If nothing, great. I think that's awesome. We can kind of go back to normal more, and we kind of live our lives normally. But it feels like, based on what I was researching and reading and what they were promoting and they were releasing, it feels like that can't be it yet, right? Like, we're not there yet where they want us yet. The matrix hasn't been shifted to where they want it to be yet. So there's got to be some more happening with our architects to bring us closer to that where they want us to be in terms of sustainability. Because here's the problem with sustainability. You cannot have sustainability discussions without population control discussions. The amount of energy, waste, all food, everything else that one human being is going to use in their whole lifetime, you cannot have the sustainability discussion without the people discussion. How many people are there, right? So they have to go hand in hand. So, yeah, we got to see more stuff happen. I don't think it's enough yet. I don't think they're finished yet. So anyway, Leave your comments about that. What do you think about that? What do you think is likely to happen in the next 5 to 10 years? WebSoak said, I don't mean to sound offensive, but if America are Freemasons, does that mean there was more to World War II allies, Freemasons versus the Axis? No Freemasons, it seems like it. That's exactly right. Yeah, you got it exactly, WebSoak. That's exactly right. That you were dealing with the Fuhrer, and that a little bit of that's detailed in here, right? Shutting down. So taking Germany, you had the different countries in and around. He was restoring Germany to where it was, to its strength that it was at. And so who he was actually challenging was not necessarily just France or just, the local governments of the Allies countries. He actually challenged London. He challenged the real ruling elite. And because he did that, that's why America came in, Canada, just about anybody, the Allies powers came together. But there are some people who think that that was a work to bring the League of Nations kind of further to United Nations and kind of finish it up. And Pike talked about having the 3 world wars, so World War One, World War II, and then a World War III, which kind of we've sort of seen, but it's been over a long period of time. Instead of it being like just 4 years or 5 years, it's been kind of institutionalized, like it'd be this country in the Middle East and then that one in the Middle East and this one, and it kind of is more like a systematic over time thing is what we sort of seen. But that's exactly right what you said, is that that's why the other countries came in and why the Allies were so easy to put together, because they're the same. We're all the same thing. Like we come from different countries and we like to think we're different countries. It's like we're almost more like territories. If you read Klaus's book, he pretty much refers to the different countries as territories. He doesn't even really look at them like they're different, they don't really think of it like that, the way we do. Like we say, oh, I'm Canadian, or you're American, or you're from New Zealand, or the kingdom, you're from Reign, you're from the United Kingdom. I just bought this today, right? It's like a cool energy drink. I just like it. You're from the kingdom, or you're from, some of these other countries, right? It's like, yeah, but when shit hits the fan, all of them are going to sync up together and all go in the same direction. So if you had a Germany or you had a new country do that, that's what's going to happen. All of them are going to all come together and then go at somebody, whoever it is. So that's kind of the invincibility that's listed in the protocols, which is that the invincibility comes from internationalism, because even if one country fell or one country went down as a part of something that happened, the other countries can come in and go with them. And so when you have like a secret society network, like you sort of mentioned, founding a country, like the Masons founded the United States. The United States is a Masonic country, is what it is. George Washington was a Freemason. So your country was basically created, your founding fathers, all of them. Now, I don't know if all of them were directly in the club, but they were all at least close to people in the club and being handled by people in the club. So you basically have, it's a Masonic country, pretty much. So, so that's the way it goes, WebSoak. So, that's exactly what happened in World War II, is that you had the German power rise to power, come up, and there's people who think that like that was funded a lot by Wall Street too, right, in WW2. So, and I think this book actually goes into some of the people who funded him. Like I think even some of the big money power in the United States funded the Fuhrer. So they got him started. Now, why did he shut the lodges down and kick out all the Masons and a lot of the Jews? Why did he do that? Well, that's pretty tricky, but I don't think that he was controlled opposition past a point. Even if they jump-started him and they got him some money to get going at the beginning, after a little while, I got to think that if he shut the lodges down and kicked all of them out, then, to reduce, so he didn't get assassinated, or he didn't get Sabbateaned, right? He kicked them all out so that they didn't Sabbatean him, because they probably would have. That's kind of what they're trained to do, right? So he wasn't wrong to do that. The Jays, you can kind of argue, because there may have been some really good ones that he might have kicked out or sent to Palestine or whatever, Israel, whatever. But you know, he did have to get, definitely he'd have to get the Masons out of Germany if he was going to defy the ruling elite. He'd have to do that. So when he did do it, it's like, yeah, he couldn't have been controlled opposition 100%. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done that. So yeah, so that's basically a different lens or a different angle on I almost made a 666, sorry. A different angle on WW2. Yeah, that's right. So, and that's what it was. But is that a fact? Are they going to let people? Actually, it is a fact. Yeah, it is factual. Yeah, but they're going to they wouldn't tell you that in your school history books. They wouldn't let you know that. Obviously, you have to be more intrepid than that. You have to actually learn and research and buy your own books to understand, and then put the whole thing together. Oh, thanks for subscribing there, Angel Toddy. I appreciate it. And if anyone's watching who hasn't subscribed, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, I do appreciate it. That's cool. I do like it. And thanks again, That Ghost and WebSoak, for your support. He also said, I hope I don't get in trouble for asking that, but I need to know. Yeah, you're not going to get in trouble for asking that, but that's exactly right what you said. Yes, that's exactly correct. If you want to watch, I think it's, is it Dennis Weiss, The Greatest Story Never Told. You can watch on BitChute The Greatest Story Never Told, and you can watch Communism Through the Back Door. Communism Through the Back Door and The Greatest Story Never Told. Communism Through the Back Door is actually world communism. That's what's tricky about it. But communism for the whole world will be good for green reasons, for the green stuff, right? You reduce the stores. You have these big megalithic organizations like Amazon and Walmart, just a few of them. You get rid of the small businesses. You deliver stuff directly to people's houses. You give people a UBI. You do it for the whole world. People, instead of going shopping, they go to the park, right? Yeah, that's it. So you could almost say that Marxism was a testing ground by the ruling power. Marxism was just a tester to see, hey, can we do this like in a mass? Can we do this for everybody? And the answer is yes, you can. And the answer is, okay, let's do that. And the answer is, or what happens is what do we need to do that? Well, we need to do this and this and this in the matrix. We need to put the matrix here, and then we can do that. Okay, do it. and that's it. So, yeah, what else did he say? Oh, thank you again, WebSoak. He said, I've read a lot of stuff about the Führer's German. Was not always the blonde, blue eye. I think it was overblown. I think Napoleon may have tried the same. Well, if you're talking about Aryan and that kind of stuff that they did, you know, I mean, I don't think we can give too many thoughts on that on YouTube, where we're at right now, to really say it, and also because we don't want to offend anybody either. But I don't see there anything. Okay, how do we say? Can we have this? Can we even talk about this at all without me getting myself in trouble? Let me think for a second here, WebSoak. I'm trying to answer and thank you for the super chat. I'm trying to answer your question in a way that is fair and truthful, but doesn't get me in trouble on YouTube. Okay. Is there a problem with a country not wanting to be a highly diversified country, wanting to have its cultural heritage, wanting to keep it where it's at, wanting to have its people be its people, and not open its borders and do all that stuff? I'm gonna have to skip that question, WebSoak, because based on where we're at in the Matrix, you're not allowed, in terms of thought, that would be a thought crime to say that would be okay right now. So I can't answer, but I think you can kind of understand what I'm saying with that, which is that I don't think it's necessarily an evil thing to say, we're going to work on ourselves. We're not letting anybody in right now. Sorry, that's how it is. You can leave if you want, but right now we're working on ourselves. Is that, and closing things off and doing it yourself, is that necessarily a bad thing? Well, if you're dealing with Sabbateanism, you kind of have to do that. I.e., you let somebody in, they try to, they come in with a network and they try to overthrow you or something like that, right? It's tricky, right? Definitely tricky stuff. But I don't think of that as necessarily an evil thing if a country just wants to be left alone and doesn't want to bring a bunch of people in from different places. But that's definitely not where our world is at, except for, I think, Israel. I think that's the only country that does that now. Everybody else, well, there's North Korea, too. They're pretty strict, too. They might let you in, but you better be good at something. Otherwise, they're not going to just let you in, whatever. But, yeah, past that, we're not allowed to discuss. But I don't necessarily think it's such a bad thing myself. It's just that it goes against the current Matrix propaganda, so you're not allowed to say that. So what else did you say, Web So Curious? So your last one you said is, I just watched an hour set of videos today on the Napoleonic Wars. Right. Oh, there you go. Napoleon, right? I think Crow and Jason say this one all the time. History is a lie agreed upon, right? So where's our fact checker bro there earlier? Well, who was it who said the fact check thing there earlier? Who's talking about facts? Well, Napoleon said that history is a lie agreed upon. History, legitimacy, his facts in history are lies agreed upon by the current regime. That's what facts are. Whatever actually happened is never going to be in the history books. What's written in the history books is going to be approved by whoever the current power is at that time. So if you live in Canada, whoever is at the top of the Canadian system, and UN as well too, because it gets even checked, I think, and passed up by them, depending on what's in the curriculum. But whatever's in the curriculum is going to be approved on up to the top. So whatever they put in there is not fact. By nature, it cannot be. It's almost as if there is no such thing as a fact. Like what you're saying. I mean, if you analyze something, you research it yourself, and you want to have something as a fact, you could spend many years, and then you could get down to what is exactly correct about it from your perspective and say that's a fact. But how could you do it when you bring in an elite class? You can never do it. And there's always going to be, if you go back to Plato, you're basically always going to have an elite class in there somewhere. Like there's always going to be a break-off elite in every system, pretty much. Even in communism, you're going to have a break-off, upper government that's going to do that, right? That's going to look out for themselves and make sure that everything in the history books is favorable to them and that they never write anything bad. It'd be like if you lived in China. If you lived in China and you expected there to be stuff in the history books about, terrible things that they had done themselves, like that the Chinese government had done themselves, that's not going to happen. So if you want facts, if you want to know truth, you better get to work, because, elite power in any country, in any system, is never going to give you what you want, which is easy facts. That's not going to exist. They're going to give you what they want you to know, what facts they want you to know, and slant things to put them in an angle for you to believe and for you to think. So, so as far as what you're saying about Napoleon, history is a lie agreed upon. I am also now thinking he was not a Mason based on Europe all turning on him. Right, the Napoleonic Wars. Well, I think Napoleon, if you do the research, and you can look into that a lot, WebSoak, I don't know if he was particularly or not, but I believe both sides were founded by the same banking dynasties, weren't they? And you'd have to go back and look through it for the Napoleonic Wars and to see who funded which side. But there's a lot of info out there on who he was funded by. But yeah, he would likely not have been in the club. And there was because wasn't there the scam that the Red Shields did where they sent somebody out ahead of time? This is fact, I guess. Where they sent people out to say they had lost, like that the UK or Britain had lost the war, so everybody panicked and sold, I think, and then the Red Shield, they bought up everything basically because everybody was screaming bloody murder like they thought we had lost or whatever, and then it ended up being, no, we actually won, but then they bought everything up cheap, and then they had, basically it'd be like if Elon right now was like, like went on a Twitter spree every day talking for a year, talking about how bad Bitcoin was going to fail and how it was like the worst thing ever and it was going to crash and everything. And then everybody got convinced. And then he hired a bunch of other people to do the same thing. And he propagandized the whole internet that Bitcoin was going to crash. And then after like 4 months, the price had gone down to like $5,000 a coin. And then he came in and bought like everything. And then, was like, ha, pretty much, or maybe he didn't say it openly. And then the price skyrocketed again. So that's pretty much the tactic. I don't know what the name is for that. But I'm sure there's some kind of an investment name for that somewhere in terms of economics to scare the bejesus out of everybody, buy everything up cheap, and then resell again. It's like the saying, right, that you make your best money when there's blood in the streets. That's when you make your best money, because when everybody else is screaming bloody murder and they're all selling all their stuff, you're buying everything up cheap, and then you're selling again when things are good. So the best time to buy is when everybody's screaming, crying bloody murder. That's the best time for you to get in, basically. It was when everyone thinks the sky's falling. When Chicken Little is running around and the sky's on fire, the sky's falling, that's when you want to buy, right? So, and you can apply that to stocks, you can apply that to housing, you can apply it to, well, maybe not always with housing, but, diversifying everything, dudes, but that's what it is. Okay, we had lots of comments in the meantime, but thank you so much, WebSoak. Maybe I'll take a few more years here because you sent through the super chats. So thank you for that. What else did you say here? Let's see. Spitfire says Green New Deal. Ben, don't worry too much about him. B is an NPC. He's a non-player entity. He just does whatever he's told by the internationalists, basically. That's it. He just does what he's told. So as far as an end game goes for him, I wouldn't worry too much that it's an end game. Hey, happy birthday there, Epic Zombie Killer, and congratulations on turning 24. And I like the picture you have. Yeah, that's a season 5 picture. So that's pretty cool. For Fear, right? So I like that one. That's a good one. Okay, let's see. Okay, oh yeah, WebSoak, you said, it seems like the monarchs, Napoleonic Wars, wanting to defend their monarchies are really Masons recognizing the threat of UN-controlled well, basically, the monarchy, most of the monarchies got absorbed in together into the Committee of 300, I believe, and you have the pretty much the premier monarchy reign, right? Which you know who it is. It's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious who it is, right? You know, I don't have to say it, and I'm not going to either. You know who it is already. But all the others were basically brought in. My understanding is underneath them, and were basically kind of at best adjacent, but pretty much underneath, and are part of the. But yeah, and then they also did bring in a lot of industrialists too. Instead of it just being a royalty monarchy type of system where they would only do that way, they did bring in some of the premier families that were really coming up, and maybe get rid of some of the other monarchies which were no longer really that lucrative in terms of comparing to like some of the premier name families that we've gone into many times here, which again, you if you've been listening, then you know who they are. Okay, Marilyn, have a good night. Thanks for watching. See you soon. So what else did we get here? Yeah, another Jimmy asked again, what's did I go communist? No, I did not. But your Matrix is about to, at least in your lifetime if you're younger, I think. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do, man. It's hard to tell. You can't really predict the future, right? It's like, it's impossible to exactly say. Hey, Promella, how are you doing from Australia? Why do I have so many people that watch from Australia? I don't know why. For some reason I do. Okay, what else we got here? Let's see. Yeah, Lulu said, but Trev, we know the Chinese have never done anything heinous. Yeah, that's right. Exactly right. You got it. Okay, what else do we get here from you guys? I'm just reviewing your guys' comments, see if we got any good ones. So, yeah, what'd you ask here, Josh? Let me go back through what you said. Yeah, topics that we're not allowed to talk about. Let's see. Oh, you've got a... So, Josh, did you say you've got a grocery store that's going to be all automated? No workers, huh? So, Josh says that there's going to be a grocery store near him, which is all automatic. So, it's all going to be bots and machine done. So, there won't be anybody who works there except for maybe some technicians that just keep the machinery working. Well, that's kind of cool, man. It's cool, but see, that's what we're talking about with the hammer and the sickle, right? When you get machines to do everything, guess what? What are you going to do? What is there going to be for you to do, right? Think about it. Capitalism is over because then you bring in the machinery to do everything. Everybody else can go to the park, and stop buying stuff they don't need because, it's like it's not essential. So the essential, non-essential thing, yeah. So let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. Well, I think that's basically everything that I had prepped here to cover with you guys. I think Jay did ask me a question. Yeah, Jay asked me what if The Long Night, which is a Game of Thrones episode, is still my favorite episode of television ever, of TV ever. And I'd say no. So to answer Jay's question, not anymore. I think now what comes after for Walking Dead, because of the way Game of Thrones ended, it takes down those episodes for me because they had such a terrible ending. So for me anyway, I didn't like it at all. So I'd say that The Walking Dead, what comes after, Rick's last episode, or No Way Out, probably my favorite episode of a TV series ever, yeah. And I can't, it's hard for me to decide. Maybe I'll say what comes after because I was just so happy that Rick survived. This is really, really good. So, yeah. So let's see here. I think that was it. Oh, Jeff Lane asked me if we could do a timeline video for Fear the Walking Dead next. So, yeah, I think we'll do that soon. I did the Walking Dead timeline video where we have basically, we go through, the whole timeline of the series from the beginning all the way up until where we're at right now in terms of timeline. So that's on the channel if you haven't seen it and you want to see the timeline explained for all the Walking Dead. It's there for you guys if you want to see it. And yeah, so that's cool. So we will do one of those for Fear pretty soon. I'll probably start working on it this week. Spitfire says No Way Out is his favorite episode too. It is really good. Phil, yeah, I've seen some of The Sopranos. I like it, but I'm not, a huge fan of it. Mike DeManhammer has The Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Yeah, that's a really great episode too, man. So hyped, right? The Day Will Come When You Won't Be, Mike, is, DeManhammer is like the most hyped episode ever. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, HFG. I'm glad you liked the timeline video. I do appreciate it because it took a while to make that one, man. Thanks, Darcy. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, it's over 40 minutes long, so if you want to see it, it's there. Red Lotus has got Too Far Gone as his favorite. And let's see. This Sorrowful Life, yeah, this is a good one. Also. Okay, Israel, have a good night from Puerto Rico. Thanks for joining in, and definitely enjoy the weather out there, and have a good one, man. I'll see you soon. And Spitfire, have a good night, man. I'll see you soon. Yeah, Monkey Man, probably in a couple years, maybe in 2 or 3 years, or 4 years. No Sanctuary, Boogeyman Scott, awesome one, absolutely. Phil D 187, Walking Dead is by far my favorite series ever still. Breaking Bad and Sopranos are second and third, I think. Yeah, Breaking Bad's awesome too, man. I love some of the final episodes of Breaking Bad. Ozymandias, that's a good episode of Breaking Bad. And then I got to include some like cartoon series, like when I was younger. Batman animated series. My favorite episode, maybe like one of the Mr. Freeze ones, Heart of Ice or something like that, maybe. I also like Joker's Millions, stuff like that. I like the one where Harley gets Batman and then Joker goes crazy on her. I think it's from New Adventures of Batman. There's an episode where Harley actually captures Batman, hangs him upside down with these fish with, I think they're piranhas or something like that. And so the Joker never gets Batman, but then Harley actually does. And then the Joker gets mad at her and like throws her out a window because she actually did what he was not able to do. So I forget the name of that episode. It's not Joker's Millions. It's one of the later ones. Mad Love, maybe? Maybe Mad Love is what it's called. Something like that. And then some of the Turtles episodes, the 80s Turtles, probably like the Turtle Tracks, like the premiere is one of my favorites. What else? X-Men animated series, Night of the Sentinels. It's a few-parter, but Night of the Sentinels, amazing. Morph. I love that one. So that's a great one. Those are some of my favorites ever. Dragon Ball Z, maybe. Like maybe the final episode, one of the final ones where Goku defeats Frieza. Or maybe the Cell versus Goku episode of Dragon Ball. Pretty amazing. Naruto's got some good ones. And then what else? Let's see. I'm trying to think of any other series that are like right up there. Some of the last episodes of Buffy are pretty good. And that's pretty much what I got. WebSoak said, I have a parent who is religious or who is religion Catholic. Is that what you're going to say? C. Other part is J. I want to change my name because J named me. I don't want the association of religion J. Thoughts, Trev? I would pick a name of heritage. Love the stream. You know, it's up to you, WebSoak, you know, which one you want to do. In the future, you know, I don't know. I guess probably J might be better for you. Might be better in terms of social, maybe. I think where based on the way things are going. Now, were you going to say Catholic or Christian? You know, whatever, man. It's up to you. You know, I don't want to get involved in your belief system, and these are definitely decisions for you to make. But you know, you could think it through and maybe check out both and see which one you want to go with more, or just be yourself and do a lot of investigation and buy a lot of books and read and you know, study and see what rings true to you or what you agree with most, and then do what speaks true to your heart, do what speaks true to you the most. You know, I mean, that's probably the best advice anyone can give you. I don't think anyone should tell you what to think or what's correct and what's not. Your thoughts are your own private property, so whatever you think. You know, like when we're doing the videos here, I'll give you my take on things from the years I've studied this kind of stuff. Not that long, you know, I haven't done this professionally that many hours that long, but I give you my take on stuff, and you know, everyone's allowed to have their own take and their own opinion, and say what's true to them, and go with that. So that's up to you, and thanks for your support, WebSoak. And the only thing I'd say is don't stop learning. Start studying and keep going and see where it leads you. And if you get weird like I am, then that's probably a good thing. It just means that you're very learned, and the average person really is not, unfortunately, because they don't put any effort into typically after they're done high school. I think a high percentage of people don't even read a single book, I think, after they finish high school. I forgot the statistic, but it's quite a few. So it's up to you. But again, you know, it's tricky with the religions too, because I like a lot of different values that different, you know, religions promote. But you know, I don't know necessarily, and nobody really does, I think, except for maybe some of the people who have like access to stuff we don't have access to. But it's hard to say if even when you talk about like Christianity, if that wasn't also doctored and promoted for a particular political agenda too. Like one of the criticisms of Christianity, for example, is it sort of domesticates people. Like it makes them domesticated. So it takes away a lot of their natural ferocity that might be there to defend themselves, to stand up for themselves, to be disagreeable, to do things like that. One of the things about it is that when people practice that and they learn that, they become a really good person. But they're also a good person to have if you're the one who's in charge. Because if you're in charge and you got a bunch of Christians, well, they don't really push back on you ever, pretty much. I mean, they might if they think you're doing something really evil. Then they might push back on you. But modern day, you know, like Bible thumping, go to church every Sunday, you know, long sleeve sweaters and nice clothes and stuff, glasses and the whole bit. You think they're going to really push back on you that hard? Not really. So there are advantages to teaching out different philosophies or different religions. So it's hard to say if even that could be a lie too, or could be fabricated too. You know, there are some books on that too you could read and see what you think as far as that goes. I think No More News did one with I forget the author's name, but he called it the Jesus hoax or something like that. And he contends in it that even that was a work too, in order to achieve some different objectives in the Roman Empire and such. So, I don't know, man. It's tricky stuff. Take your time and go through it. All you all us Christians around here are well armed. Yeah, that's true. There are some, Boogie, that are. I just mean that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that a particular religion could be promoted because it could be advantageous for whoever happens to be ruling at that time. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, teaching out a particular religion could be useful for a King James or whoever, could be useful to the current power structure to give people a belief set to promote peace in the kingdom, right? Or to do something like that. And to, I think it's good for all of us to be good people and to want to be good. I'm just trying to say that, in terms of the Matrix, there could be advantages to the people at the top of the Matrix to give a certain religion or a certain viewpoint to the people of that Matrix at that said time. For a blueprint on how to think, what to do, what not to do. As George Carlin says in the joke, a list of 10 things that he does not want you to do. And he has a special place for those. Anyway, I'm not going to say the whole joke, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? That it could be also used to also control a population too. So, again, I don't want to tell anybody what to think. Do your own research, go through it yourself. But I think it's advantageous to hear both sides of arguments and then make up your own mind to which you think is correct and which you think is true. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't think that's a bad thing. So let's see. Okay, we've got. All I know is that I don't know, says Phil. Well, that's not a bad place to be, right, Phil? I don't know. Tama says, when the Matrix is complete, the religion issue will not matter. I agree with you, Tama, that they are even bringing out a new religion too that they've been working on developing and spending probably trillions of dollars now with the whole NASA scientific atheism, scientism deal. I mean, that is something that they have pumped so much money into making people believe this stuff is real and different Hollywood tricks and all this different stuff. That one's mind-blowing right there if you want to research that. But yeah, so, whoever's in charge at that time is going to take the system where they want it to go. They're going to take it wherever they want it to be. And yeah, sometimes they'll want to get rid of the old religion that was there because it's no longer useful for them and instill or create their own new one, right? Create their own new religion that's to be put out there. And that's what, like, if you look at NASA and, Neil deGrasse Tyson, people like this, that's what these guys are doing. They're creating a new system. They're creating a new belief set and a new religion for the people to have right now. So that's, at least from what I've seen, like if you look at, a guy, Flat Earth Warriorz, he's got a video up in his channel, and it's of Stephen Hawking in his earlier days. I think it's from either the 80s or the 90s. You can watch it online. And Stephen Hawking, the Charles Xavier character, the Professor X character, where he wants to tell you how the universe started. So Stephen Hawking is, hawking these crazy ideas at you about big bangs and whatever. And again, that's going to be accepted as a fact. So the guy who got angry earlier about facts and about saying that something is a fact, right? What Stephen Hawking promoted as the Big Bang will be taught out as a fact. That's not going to be taught out in the future like it's like happenstance. No, they're going to say it's a science with a capital S, a scientific fact. That's what they're going to say, right? So if you watch this video that Flat Earth Warriorz has posted of Stephen Hawking, and I think it's either the 80s or the 90s, it's pretty sad, man. He has a translator with him, in this video. And it's an interview, and so they'll ask Stephen a question, and he's disabled and everything, right? So he's sitting there, blah, blah, blah. So they'll ask him something about how the universe started, or something like this, like a super advanced question. and he's like there. He'll say something like that. Okay, I'm not going to impersonate because it's rude, and you know he's got disability and stuff. It's pretty sick in terms of this deal, what they've done with him in Big Bang. It's sick. I think it's sick. So he's literally like, oh, he says like 3 words, whatever the hell he said. You cannot translate what he said. It's gibberish. You have no, you know. And they say his translator beside him is going to translate for you. So he mumbles like 3 sounds out of his mouth. And then the translator in this video, you can watch it right now on YouTube, goes into this whole spiel about Stephen said the universe started this way, and then this happened, and that happened, and this happened, and blah, blah, blah. And he goes on for like a minute. And it's like, really? You got all that from him saying blah, blah, blah? Like, it's sick, but it's ludicrous. That's the thing. It's totally ridiculous. It's pretty obvious that what's happening here is you have a character who's basically just mumbling sounds out of his mouth. That's all he can do because of his deal, which is sad and everything, right? It's very sad. But he's mumbling a few sounds out of his mouth, right? And then you have a translator beside him who's answering the question for you in terms of the advanced theoretical science with a capital S and physics that's there. You got to watch this video. I'm telling you. Maybe I'll find the video, we watch it together. But basically, they're planting in, so this is I'll give you my take right now after watching the video through a few times. And as somebody who has worked with disabled people before, I've helped them before. And one thing you have to be very careful about is when you're helping them, especially if it's a test or an interview or something, is that you don't answer the question for them. If they're doing a test, they have to answer it. And if they answer it wrong and you're a translator, you have to translate it properly. You cannot be filling in blanks for them or whatever. So pretty obvious in this video, what you can see is they're asking him a question about how the universe started, Big Bang, and all this stuff. He's mumbling a few words, and then the translator, the handler, is answering the whole thing for him. So you literally have a stage character, which would be your Professor X, your Stephen Hawking. He's a stage character, and then you have a whole handling operation around him, which is answering all the questions for him. Everything. They're saying that, okay, you know, yes. So what you actually have is, you basically have, sorry to say, because it's sad, because he's disabled and everything, you have a puppet character, right, who you have a translator for that is giving you the propaganda. All of the Big Bang propaganda. Everything. And I'm sure his books are written for him and they put his name on it. And I'm sure his theories are written for him and they put his name on it. But he's literally just a character. He's mumbling 3 syllables out of his mouth. And then the handler beside him is giving you the answer to how the universe started. That's pretty sick. But that gives you a good, if you want to see a nice glitch in the matrix, watch that video and get a grasp of what you're seeing. What you're actually seeing is the birth of a new religion. Just called science. That's what it is. And instead of the priesthood, you have the white lab coats. You have the white lab coats. You have the, usually glasses, old guys, the hair, whatever. These matrix system actors who are promoting science with a capital S, but it is politically driven towards atheism. And that's what they're doing. So WebSoak said, I think I'll change it based on my beliefs and research. I don't want the association with the J letter one. I understand that, yeah. Hope the donations will help. And last one, yeah. Well, thank you, WebSoak. You didn't have to do that. I appreciate it. It's up to you, totally your decision. Yeah. So whatever you decide, your life, your decision. Like I just said there, you got to make sure, whether you're a teacher or whoever, whatever you're doing, whatever job you're doing, you can't answer the person's questions for them. They have to be the one to determine their fate and what they want to do, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Yeah, Elvis got it. It's a fake translation. They're planting it. They're planting it. He's a character. He's a stage character. He's not a real person, like, and people think he is. Like, he comes out on the thing in the chair, the Professor X, you know, the chair thing. He's literally a Professor X character in real life. He's going to tell you how the universe started, but he can only mumble a few syllables out of his mouth. The most obvious example ever of a stage character, and that's exactly what it is. Yeah, so there you go. So yeah, Einstein is a scumbag, basically. From my take, from what I've learned and seen here, Einstein was basically a scam artist. I'm sorry to tell you, that's what he was. Einstein was a scammer. He's a scam artist. His job was basically to bring in relativity so you can't say anything about anything. Because now it's all relativity. Well, it's all relative. You can't say anything concretely about anything, so therefore we have to give you the truth, right? We're going to fact check you. We're going to give you the facts. And oh, no, my dear boy. Oh, no, silly boy. Don't do experiments on your own, my boy. Don't think for yourself, my boy. Do what we say because of relativity and everything is relative and blah, 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 blah. Right? That's basically what he did, pretty much. He did advanced mathematics and then just told you that relativity, everything's relative. Did I convince you yet? I did these crazy long, useless theoretical math equations that have no basis in reality whatsoever to get you to the point where you just basically give up. That's what he's doing. He's using algebra, just like the protocols say. He's using advanced algebra, advanced math, to get you to quit, to basically say that, oh, you just don't understand it, right? I can do these fancy math equations, right? I can do advanced math. You just don't get it. Therefore, relativity, and therefore you can't say anything concretely, about anything, right? Like, if you do an experiment, well, it doesn't matter because relativity, it's another out. It's like gravity. Gravity, relativity, same thing. It's an out. It gives them an out to tell people that they're monkeys. Yeah, basically that's it. So science, the science that we have is actually a religion. It is. It's fake. It's fraudulent. It's based on cheap parlor tricks and magicianship. It is crap. And the math part of it is just to perplex, like the protocols say, the minds of the Goyim. Basically, to perplex the people so that they don't turn on and start thinking about what's concrete around them, right? They're perplexing your mind. It's just magicianship. They're perplexing you so you quit and then you just believe whatever they tell you, right? And relativity is just one of those. Relativity, whatever. You can't say anything about anything. We're spinning and whatever, and you don't feel anything. But relativity, if you were on a train, let's get Neil DeShill in here to throw a ball around on a train, right? You're on a train, you're whatever, and a ball throws this way, so does it, whatever. You guys have heard this before, right? Yeah, that's it. Applied math, right, exactly. You got to do something, right, physically, but relativity. So now you can't anymore. I'm Einstein, and I've been another stage character, just like the one I just talked about, another stage character, which is giving you your priesthood, right? Your I don't know, who's the equivalent of an Einstein in like one of the religions? Let's say like Moses or somebody like this, right? Like you're getting like your new priesthood. You have your Sir Isaac Newton, so you're going to Freemason right there, Sir. You've got your Einstein. How dare you? How dare you question Moses? How dare you question Einstein? How dare you say he's a scam artist? Well, that's what he is actually. But how dare you say that, right? How dare you? Who are you, right? Exactly. So it's all bullshit, man. They're just fucking promoting atheistic communism. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be atheism to go into Luciferianism, to go into communism. That's what they want to do, basically. Will they get their way or not? We'll see, but that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what else we got here? Okay, let's see. Trev, if you get a TC2 tattoo, are you gonna give me a shout out, right? Okay, Lulu, I will give you a shout out if I do, but I probably won't. So, yeah. Beaverus, what'd you say? What was your question? I didn't get it. So let's see. P2 be a cyber pandemic. Well, I've heard of this boogie, like a, some kind of cyber attack, shut down power, shut down some of this. I don't know, man. We'll see what happens. Some of the other lockstep proposed ideas. I don't know. We'll see. Well, real science. You see, the thing is, like, they hijack science and what science actually is. Real science should be based on, experiments. It should always be open to discussion. It should always be open to other people attacking what the current model is to try to disprove it or to try to change it or to try to foundationally, it should be open to discussion. So what we have is not real science. What we have is infiltrated, reversed around science, which is just politically driven to bring you into atheism. That's all it is. That's all you have there. Even though they, the top-ranking people in that system are not atheists. They believe in a grand architect of the universe. And in fact, they probably have factual evidence, I would think, that they'll keep to themselves that would prove that it's actually what they believe is correct. Rules for thee, not for me, right? Science for thee, not for me. Because there's two different kinds of science, right? Like you have your scientism, which is your profane belief science, which is just propaganda for, like we said, atheism, basically. And then on the other side, in the inside, they'll have their own version of science where they'll actually know, which ones are correct and which ones are for the masses. So which ones are for us and which ones are for you, the animals, right? The way they kind of look down on us, like Kabbalah, lowering down to the, creating it, like lowering you down to an animal, teaching you're an animal, right? You're a stupid monkey, whatever, bringing you down, right? In their scientific propaganda, yeah. But they themselves don't adhere to that. So, okay, let's see. Yeah, scientists were against Einstein. Yeah, because real scientists, 420, would have been against him because they'd have said, what the F are you doing? No, that's all wrong. And I believe that during his day it was not that popular. But you see how facts are generated, right? It's a fact that Einstein is the smartest man ever. It's a fact, right? Even though he's not at all. And the stuff that he came out with was political propaganda. But, it's a fact that he's whatever because it's in the textbooks and the current rulership says that it needs to be in the textbooks, right? That he's brilliant and all this stuff and everything else. So there's your fact for you. So again, like I said, that's how facts are generated. They're generated by the people at the top of the matrix in the system telling the people below what to believe, then that becomes a fact. That's all it is. Just like in 50 years from now, Gil Bates will factually be the greatest man ever, right? It will be a fact that Gil Bates will be the greatest man who has ever lived. And people like us who are around during this time are being like, what? What the hell? No, he's not. This guy's Anyway, we'll keep that offline, right? We'll keep that off. But it will be written in as a fact that he is the savior of the human race, right? And of mankind. So that's how your facts are created. Kidman104 said, a Walking Dead question. That's great. Thanks, Kidman. He said, The Walking Dead, with The Walking Dead, did Carol's death from the comics with a different character? It was so brutal. Also, Terminus is the best episode. Never forget that night. Oh, the Terminus. Yeah. So, Kidman, do you mean like the season 4 finale when they just get to Terminus, like A? Or do you mean like the season 5 premiere, like No Sanctuary, where they escape and everything? That's pretty awesome. But Carol's comic death, yeah. But Carol in the comics is like a different character. Her age is different. In the comics, she's with Tyrese, I believe, right? I'm going back a ways now. So she's with Tyrese. She's younger. She doesn't look like Melissa McBride. It's like a different character. If her name wasn't the same, you would never put the two together. So I just think of it as like a different character. But I'm so glad they didn't do that. And they almost killed her off in season 3, but instead T-Dog took the bite instead of Carol. So that was good. So I did like that. So, yeah, but thanks for the super chat, Kidman, and thank you, brother. And sorry I missed your super chat there that one time during a premiere. I wasn't there. I set the video to premiere, but I wasn't actually, it wasn't a live thing. It was a premiere, which is different than a live. You can send through super chats for premieres, but they're not exactly the same as a live stream. So sorry about that, kid. It was my mistake, misunderstanding there. Yeah, I agree, Lulu. Tesla was better than Einstein. I agree. Tesla was better than Einstein. And yeah, relativity is Beaverus. I'm being serious with you when I tell you that relativity is just so that you profane peasants don't actually question what we're telling you. That's basically what it is. It's so you don't start to question yourself and do experiments yourself. Because then they can just throw it all out and say, well, relativity, man. Or they can say, we don't feel like we're moving, but it's all relative based on where you are. Relativity, man. You wouldn't feel if you're on a whatever. Are you traveling faster? You know, oh, man. What a load of crap. Absolute. I just throw it all out, man. Total crap. Absolutely. So I give Neil deGrasse Tyson a heart attack. You can't. You can't. Sometimes when I listen to him, I actually think that he actually believes what he's saying. Like, I wonder, like, does he know? Maybe he doesn't know that a lot of this stuff was brought out for political reasons. Maybe he doesn't know that it's actually not true. Maybe he doesn't know. When I hear him explain things, I think, wow, you know, like when he speaks on behalf of the scientific community, even though I don't know how he does that. How do you as one man speak on behalf of the scientific community? How does that work, you know, without a top-down rule system? Otherwise, it doesn't work, right? So it's like, you know, sometimes I think, like, maybe he really believes what he's saying. Maybe he doesn't know that much. And he's just in the dark about it. He's just bought the Kool-Aid, that's all. So I challenge him to watch that Stephen Hawking video and read the protocols and do some studying in that direction instead and see what he thinks. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and do some laser tests and things like some zoom tests and see what he thinks about that too. But I would not sink to such a... Oh, he doesn't really have an English accent. But he probably should, to be honest with you. He should, right? Him and Stephen Hawking should both have English accents. It'd make the characters work better. Boogeyman said, I think that Lucifer is an Enukai, and that is what the power worship. Well, that's like the David Icke thing, right? Like reptilians, you know, they're not human. They're actually not human. You know, they're whatever. I throw all that stuff out. I just say that's counterintelligence, and I throw it out basically. But Lucifer, as far as a like evil, or as far as duality, I guess maybe we should say Satan for evil, Lucifer for the combination of good and evil, like a duality. So maybe they put Lucifer at the top, and then they go down with Satan and God at the same level. So they say light and dark, moon and sun, right? You know, light and dark, yin and yang, good and bad. With Lucifer has ascended. Whatever. It's up to you. You know, I don't know. I'm not Luciferian, so you'd have to ask one of them to explain how they see it, right? So let's see. Oh, Darcy. Oh, yeah, there's the TV series, The Big Bang Theory, right? Named after guess who, right? There's your propaganda right there. Let's go through all the propaganda with regards to scientism, right? The Big Bang Theory, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Planet of the Apes, The Monkees, the band. Do the monkey with me, the dance, right? What else, right? You know, even the Joe Rogan Experience, probably unintentionally, but he's got the laughing monkey, right? Even Philip DeFranco accidentally, he doesn't know any of this stuff, but he does the stupid monkey thing, and you get the monkey laugh, right? What else? It goes back pretty far. You know, you got like the sci-fi movies, Star Wars, right? Outer space and all the other stuff that goes along with that. Star Trek, Patrick Stewart, William Shatner. Someone asked William Shatner what the difference between real science and science fiction is, and he said they're both the same. And that's right, they are the same. They're both fiction. Who else we got? Arthur C. Clarke, Stanley Kubrick. Who else is in that club of people that like built this new religion? Let's see. Dinosaurs, you got to throw them in there too, right? Because that's part of the Monkey Man thing. Dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, mutants off of whatever. The ooze made mutants, so they changed over time. It's like evolution, right? You know, it's even got the Technodrome with the one eye at the top. The one eye Technodrome, one eye symbolism Technodrome. What else, man? What are some of the big movies? Somebody throw out some big movies that are like, full of of that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, 12 Monkeys. There's one, right? That's a good one. People say monkey around. Yeah. 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 What else? What else is there? Oh, there's lots of stuff, man. There's so much of it. It's just, it's a tidal wave. And then you go into the UFO stuff, which is the other part of the outer space stuff, right? Which is the controlled opposition, or the counterintelligence part of it too, right? Where then you ask them and they say, well, you ask the astronauts, well, we saw some lights up there. It was really strange, man. That's the real conspiracy, right? So there's aliens. Aliens were there. They were watching us, right? That's the real thing, right? That's what they do. They take it into a different discussion. It's like, so you don't analyze whether or not they actually did it. They take you into a subsection conspiracy category of, we weren't alone. There was aliens and flying saucers and Barack Obama, Pentagon, there are really aliens and we don't know what they were, and Commander Fravor and all this other crap. It's like, just tired of your crap. Yeah, I had enough of this. Goodness. Okay, what else is there? All right. Well, thank you, Power. Back in Black. Appreciate it, man. I'm glad you like it. Anukai, man. I don't know. That's the same thing, right? That's part of counterintelligence, which is to take the conspiracy space into crazy land, right? We were created. See, again, it's the atheistic angle, right? We were created, but we were created by aliens, so we're not special. And the political, disempowering atheistic mindset again, right? Like, we're not important. We're not anything special. We're created by Anukai. We're created by these aliens, man. And they made us, so therefore we're a slave race, man. So we all gotta act like slaves. It's our nature, man. It's our nature to be slaves, dude. It's our nature. What are we gonna do, man? The ruling of the arm. Yes. Job well done. Job well done, dear boy. Job well done. Yes. I don't know what that would look like if Bruce Willis spanked 12 monkeys. He kind of looks like a monkey a little bit, right? So, okay, what else we got? I'm still processing the sciences and religion thing. I never imagined it was to this extent. Yeah, it is. It is. And you can look at what you should study, WebSoak, is study NASA bloopers. Bubbles in space, NASA bloopers. You got years of studying ahead of you to study all the NASA fakery, all NASA stuff. Absolutely, it's so wonderful. Once you get it, you'll just laugh so hard. It's just awesome. Oh, Beaver has said, I wrote a book report on Chariots of the Gods in the 90s when I was 14, and my teacher's mind was blown. Did you get it? Did you convince her? Was it a her or him? Was your teacher a her or a him, Beaverus? I mean, it's fun stuff, but it's fiction, right? Like it's fun stuff, but it's not real, and we know it's not real. It's just, oh man, it's the same stuff, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, NASA bloopers are the best, right? Bubbles in space, astronaut almost drowned. Oh my God, how do you drown in space, man? That's kind of interesting. How did that happen? Where'd the water come from up there? It was a her. She loved it. Yeah, I'm sure she did. Yeah, but how do you know? How do we? How do you know it's not? But how do you know we weren't? Oh man, yeah. I need to take another hit of acid, man, to get to that level. I gotta take another hit, man. I don't know. I'm not quite there yet. I gotta take another one. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly, Beavers. Yeah, that's right. I know. I mean, it can be done so professionally to where you might not realize that you're being propagandized. But that's the best kind of propaganda and indoctrination, is the one where people don't realize they are. People think they're being told the truth as they're being indoctrinated in one way or another, right? That's the best kind, man. I mean, it's the used car salesman who has convinced you you're buying the best car that has nothing wrong with it ever and it's perfect and everything. Maybe they're telling the truth, but maybe they're just trying to sell you a car. Okay, because it's advantageous for them. HFG said, I watch Rogan, but I know that he's controlled opposition. Yeah, there was a time when I thought maybe he just really doesn't know, but I'm pretty sure now that he's totally controlled. That's why he won't have people like Eric on. He won't do stuff like that, because he's completely in the club, no doubt about it. He have to be. Otherwise, it would be part of his natural interest, most likely, to entertain some of these other ideas and at least hear them out. But he didn't have Bart Sabrell on. I think Bart Sabrell recently striked Eric Dubay for level. I don't know why he did that. Maybe because he took some of the footage from the movie and maybe Bart got mad because it's his footage and stuff. So I don't know. As if it's not bad enough that we have to fight with Masons and ruling elite trying to shut us down all the time and stop us from telling people the truth about anything. But now we got to fight amongst each other and strike each other because we're stealing each other's truth space or something. I don't know. It's bad enough already. And now we got people who are, striking each other because of stuff. It's like, oh, man. I don't even know what to say about that one. So, yeah. All right, what else we got? Boogeyman said, I wrote a college paper on the Bilderbergers. Yeah, Bilderbergers, yeah. Bilderberg group. Well, it's a subgroup. It's a subsection, so it is real. It's just a subsection under the committee, that's all. So, yeah. In Texas, well, I'll tell you what, Lulu, if me and Jess ever come to Texas, we will stop by your house, okay? We're gonna stay at your place. Have a bed ready for us, yes. I'm moving to your place now. Okay, let's see. Brett Werner said, I told my mom how science is a religion, space, and evolution, and round Earth. Sphere, Brett. Sphere. Round is like a oblate spheroid, right? It's got a little chubby around the poles, right? It's a sphere, man. It's not, you don't say it's round. It's a sphere. It's an object, right? It's a sphere in outer space, right? It's a sphere in outer space. Stephen Hawking said so, right? When he said, that's when he said that we are actually a sphere floating around in outer space, and we were created this many billions of years ago, and the universe was started from a Big Bang, and we expanded because of this expanding and that expanding and constant expanding and relativity, and this is spinning around, and this is rotating, and this is flying around this thing, and then this thing's flying around here, and then this thing's flying off over there, right? Relativity, man. Okay, let's see. All right. I think, are we spent for tonight, guys? My voice is probably getting spent. I'm actually on vacation this week, so I'm having some fun. Okay. Yeah, 420 said about Helen Keller that she had a British accent, even though supposed to be born deaf. They've been using puppets for age. Yeah, that's right. Could be. I don't know if there was anything there that they used that for a reason, or if it was just for whatever. Whatever the case may be, yeah, it's you're right. You're finding glitches in the matrix. You're finding problems in the facts, man. Problems with the facts. Yeah. That guy from earlier has got to be gone at this point. After how many times I've said facts, right? Like the way he said it, like as if he was so concrete and so set in that he knew everything that he was told was true. Iowa, yeah, I would like Iowa too. Could be good. So, okay, dudes. Well, I think we covered just about everything that wanted to cover for tonight. And so we'll do a timeline video for Fear of the Walking Dead here coming up soon. Any final questions before we wrap here? I'm going to do that. I'll have that video posted for you guys. The timeline for Fear probably in this week or maybe next week, sometime this week. Do I prep food supplies? I don't, Boogie. I probably should. I keep extra toilet paper now, but I don't really prep, food or anything. I'm not one of those guys. No. I do have a multi-tool. I got this fairly recently. This is kind of cool. So I have stuff like that, but I don't have a lot of survivalist stuff. No, I'm not one of those guys. Unfortunately, maybe I'll wish at some point that I was, but no, not really. Have a good night. Word of the day, and thanks for joining. And Traveling is Freedom said, is it true that Rick will be back for season 11 of The Walking Dead? Where did you hear that, Traveling? Because I have not heard that from anybody. You mean somebody made that up? Maybe if somebody just made it up, which could be the case, they could have just made that up. I don't think that they would confirm that ahead of time. Maybe if it was leaked, if they got pictures or something, but I haven't heard anything. So I'd say no, we don't know that for sure. It'd be awesome if he did return, but we don't know if he's going to. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Tama, that's right. It's hard-pressed to find any famous person that isn't pictured with significant signs and symbols, one-eye symbolism, different types of signs like that. Yeah, you're right. You would be hard-pressed to try to find somebody that wasn't in the club, right? See, that's tricky, right? Because because not everybody is in the club. So there's a lot of people who just don't know, right? They've never researched it. They've never looked into it. They don't know about the eye of providence. Well, eye of providence, one-eye symbolism, eye of providence, providence, Pike says in Morals and Dogma, is about creationism. Providence is creationism. Man without creation does not have providence. So the eye of providence, the one-eye symbolism, is a conspiracy to retain providence for its members and convince those on the outside that they are without providence. Atheism. So the goal of them then is to keep the creationism for themselves, rules for thee, not for me, keep creationism for themselves, and to eye of providence to have you be without providence. So they want themselves to have providence, and they want you to not have providence, right? And that's the idea. But your thoughts are your own private property, so they can't force you to think anything. They have to release, 100+ years of different stuff, a couple hundred years worth of stuff to allow you to come to that conclusion yourself, right? Which naturally you would, considering. Yeah, nice icon there, WebSoak. Yeah, I like it. Have a good night, L2 Extreme, and thanks for joining. Yeah. What did you say here, Beavis? I just got a Leatherman Charge TTI. What is that? Oh, is that a type of gun? I'm Canadian. I don't even know anything about guns. So I have to look up what that is. Is that a survivalist thing or something? What is it? Okay. The whole thing I've noticed in pictures around the shadows just looking very weird had been what started to make me open to what you said about science being religion. Yeah, the shadows on the moon, the spotlight, the floodlights in the visor. The shadows go in different directions because the lights are pointed in different spots on the set. That's why the shadows don't go the same direction. But if you watch Mythbusters, they'll go through this whole thing and then they'll bring you back and propagandize you again, even though what they're saying is not true at all, right? It needs to be fact checked. So I'm gonna make that part of my promo. I'm gonna use fact against them like crazy, right? Because it's a fact that we landed on the moon, right? It's a fact, man. It's in textbooks. It's a fact, right? So yeah, so here's the truth, right? Is that the lights on the set and you can see them. There's pictures NASA released. You can see the lights along the side of whatever it was they were in, hangar, studio, whatever, and the lights were pointed, the spotlights in different directions. So the shadows don't go the same way because the lights are pointed. And then there's one picture of the visor where you can see in his visor, if you look at it, it's not a UFO. That's what they do with UFOs. They say, oh, that's a UFO in his visor. No, it's not. It's a floodlight. It's the light. It's illuminating him. That's what it is. It's a light. So it's not a UFO. It's a set light. So anyway, okay, we better wrap. I'm gonna get in trouble. All right, let's have a good night, guys. Have fun. Be happy. Enjoy the weather. It's awesome. Yeah, an AK would be sweet, Boogeyman. I love that. I'm thinking about moving to the States, man. Maybe I should move to Texas or Florida if they let me in, but I'll probably have to get the deal so I could move there, right? They probably wouldn't let me in otherwise. So, yeah. Yeah, traveling, what did you say? Traveling is freedom? Maybe I can give you a quick answer and save you a year of research or something. What did you say here? So you said, few YouTube channels saying it, just been not able to confirm it. Traveling is freedom, said. Oh, well, a few channels told you Rick will be back for season 11 for sure. And traveling, how do they know that? Where did they get that information from? They think he will, and I think that'd be great. I think it'd be great too. Is it confirmed, like as if AMC said it, or there's pictures of him on set? Not that I'm aware of. If there are, please show them to me, because I haven't seen them. Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh, the shadows in the picture you take. I feel like someone just looks off about sun shadows. Oh, okay, I see. It's so weird to me you can have one side of your face be glowing from the sun while the other's in darkness. It seems natural. Well, the sun is actually very small. The sun is not as big as they tell you either. That's a lie, too. It's also not 93 million miles away. It's a few thousand miles up. You can triangulate its position. If you look at sun rays through clouds, you can use simple trigonometry to do it. And typically what you get is that the sun is a few thousand miles away, and it's small. The Earth is much bigger than the sun. The sun is small. If you use the sun's rays, you go and you do the angles, right? You do the distance from here to here, and you sine cosine. You just do your trig basically, and then you can find out. You can triangulate its position from the sun's rays, and it's local. It's not 93 million miles away. It's like right there. It's like a few thousand miles up. So yeah, but do it yourself. Don't listen to NASA. Don't listen to these people. They are professional thought architects. Do it yourself, because otherwise you're not gonna get it. So yeah, this is a small knife beaverus. It's not anything crazy. It's just small. So multi-tool though. So, but yeah, I know you guys have got some cool stuff. I don't really have anything. I got my juice seal over here. That's what I got. So we want Rick, says Lulu. Yeah, I know. We need Rick back. So Bowie knife would be cool, beavers. Like the ones Daryl has, like the big Bowie knives that he has. Those are super cool, man. So, but you can't carry those in your pocket or something, or fold them up or something. Like I can. I can do that with that pretty good. Where the moon is not a rock in space, at least not. Yeah, it's like the opposite of the sun. It's a light, right? So you can't land on it anyway. But yeah, so that's why they did it in a studio and everything. So yeah, professional liars. Yep. But there's a lot, Lulu. Like some people don't like people who lie or liars, right? But here's the thing: you gotta understand, liars can make a lot of money. You gotta understand that. If you ever work in sales, your best salespeople are your best liars every time. People who tell the truth are not good salespeople. Because if say you're a used car salesman and you tell every person the truth about every component of the car when they go to buy it, they're probably going to go to a different lot. And it's what people want too, because if you go to one lot and the guy says, well, I got this car, it's pretty good, there's a problem here, problem there, problem here. Okay, just to let you know. You think the person's going to buy? The person's going to say, oh, I don't want that. They'll go to a different lot where the used car salesman said, this car is perfect. Maybe the frame looks nice, but maybe it's got a gasket leak, or it's like hunk of junk or something. This car is perfect for you. That's the one they're going to buy, because it's what works for people, right? It's the presentation, and people are, they're so trusting for no reason. They're very trusting when really they should be mistrusting almost all the time, right? Is really how they should be, because for people to tell you the truth, there is really no advantage to them telling you the truth about anything almost. There just isn't. So you really got to factor that in, whatever. See, what I'm telling you right now, like when I'm trying to communicate these thoughts with you guys, I don't have an agenda. I'm not selling you anything. I'm nothing. So I just say it because it's fun, and I don't need money or anything, so it's fun. But for someone who's got to make a sale, man, they got to say whatever it takes to get that sale. And that's just the name of the game, man. That's what it is. Yeah, Rick's comeback has not been confirmed. Not at all. Okay, guys. Well, let's wrap for tonight. We're at 2 hours, so that's great. Thank you guys for joining so much. I want you guys to have an awesome night and a good week, and I'll see you back again in a few days with our timeline video for FTWD. Yeah, me too, Darcy. I'm no good at it either. Some people get really good at it. Why do they fall for it? Because they want it, Protoss, is what they want. What do you want? Like, look at politicians. All they ever do is lie about almost everything, right? Everyone does it. And yet people, it's just what it is, right? It's just what it is. It's what they want. So that's what works. If people were different and they didn't succumb to it and they didn't ask for it, then people could be different. Okay, and the situation will be different. All right, have yourself a great night, guys, and I'll see you back again soon. As always, it's Trev. Stay safe, guys.